Good morning. Good. James Forrester from Google. It's wonderful to be here with you all today. They told me not to do that. They told me not to push it too many times. I would like to start with a confession. So if you'll bear with me, I am an AI optimist, a really big AI optimist, in fact. I've joined Google relatively recently from Microsoft and AWS previously, and there's two big reasons that I joined Google. First is that London has become a tremendous center of gravity, both for AI and for what Google is doing with AI. My responsibility is to look after Google's UK and I customer engineering organization. But all of customer engineering globally for Google is led out of London. The same goes for our consulting services and, of course, our friends at DeepMind, who are tremendously influential and work with us and with all of you on a great many of our engagements. So, in addition to being a massive center of gravity for AI and cloud at Google, one of the observations that really led me here is that over the next couple of years, there are going to be 1 billion new apps built. That's more than the last 40 years combined. So we truly are in a revolutionary period of change. Now, of course, almost all of those apps are going to involve some level of customer interaction and customer engagement. The other thing that's true about those apps is that most of them won't be built by us. They'll be built by all of you. And so being able to take those tremendous capital investments that we and others are making in AI and bring those to your customers and bring those to partners is an opportunity unlike any I've seen in my career. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to make that as frictionless as possible for you to bring the tremendous value of all of those investments that we're making in AI and the great cloud services behind it into those apps which you're delivering for customers? So firstly, we acknowledge that AI hasn't just arrived anymore. It's redefined that benchmark for consumer experiences. Your customers are expecting personalized results. They're expecting actions to be done on their behalf. It's not enough to simply end a call with an email, asking for a follow-up, expecting an escalation. The action needs to take place in the moment. It needs to solve the customer's issue and expand that share of wallet and that share of basket. Customers are also expecting much more immersive experiences. It's no longer sufficient to flip the customer back to a web page, which may take a little bit of time to load, with a high abandonment rate, with the expectation of the customer sticking around and working through that journey. Customers are constantly raising the bar for us. Customers are raising the bar for all of us, and so being able to deliver those experiences primarily with voice, but multimodally across voice and video, seeing what the customer sees, hearing what the customer says, and then equipping customer service agents with all of the context that they could possibly need in order to have the best possible conversation is where AI is today. So, there's work to do. Most brand interactions are still offering a significant experience gap. We've all heard about the vision. We've all heard about how we would like it to be. But we all know that when we go and apply for a credit card or participate in any complex customer engagement process, there are often cumbersome applications involved. Long forms, lots of manual entry, lots of forced repetition, very little continuity between interactions, having to explain where you left off in order to pick up from the same point. Friction in discovery, not seamless adjacencies, not seamless expansion of baskets. And then service dead ends, where we're taking customers down a blind alley that they then need to figure out how to walk back from in order to get an answer to their question. There's a couple of data points we've seen that 82% of customers will avoid websites where they've had a previous poor experience. And 70% of customers will seek an alternative brand. They'll leave the brand entirely if expectations are not met. We know that customers have choice, more choice than ever before. The global markets have enabled that kind of choice, just in the same way as we know that customers have a choice of ways in which they interact with those brands. Customers vote with their feet and they vote with their wallets. But what if you could transform your customers' experiences from frustration into a level of loyalty that you hadn't seen previously? We think there's about 4 ways that we can help you do that. Firstly, finding exactly what's needed. Search has become an increasingly frustrating experience. Polluted search results, results that don't understand the user's context or don't understand their buying behaviors. When there is a problem, fixing things fast and the first time, that cognitive friction that has been inserted in the customer service interaction between the customer with the product in front of them, having to figure out how to become multimodal themselves, take the problem they're having, turn it into text that can be explained to a chatbot, let the chatbot interpret that text, reinterpret the result. That's not a natural human interaction. Voice is far more natural. What's even more natural is to be able to show the agent the problem in front of them. Engaging in preferred ways. Now, again, we find ourselves making customers translate what they need into something that the customer experience can interpret and understand. What if we could break down all of those walls, take out that friction, make it possible for the customer to engage in the style, in the language, in the mode that they choose in that moment in time? Some things are absolutely easier done with text, others with video, others with voice. We want to be able to provide the support for the engagement model that the customer wants to use in that moment. And then lastly, building lasting relationships. So we've all seen the brand loyalty value when you know that you have a long-term relationship with a particular brand, and you might get somewhat rewarded for that relationship. But really knowing the full context of a customer's history with a given brand over time, bringing that to the disposal of the customer service agent to have the best possible conversation with that customer at that moment in time, that enables a level of brand loyalty that's second to none. So how do we pull that all together? Because we know that trying to do all of this on your own can be extremely complex. We're introducing Gemini Enterprise for Customer Experience. Built on the Gemini Foundation and the Google Cloud Foundation, this brings all of the capabilities that we've talked about to your brands that you can put in front of customers quickly, frictionlessly, and customized to exactly represent your brand voice. There's 4 key elements that I'd like to talk about. Firstly is the concept of pre-built agents for common use cases. Shopping agents, food ordering agents, and so forth. Again, your brand, not Google's brand, able to quickly deploy and stand up to represent your brand voice and your brand values. The Customer Experience Agent Studio. When we think about the complexity of training and bringing up to speed a customer experience agent to be able to navigate the complex conversations they're likely to have, that takes time. It's complex. Bringing the context of the customer's previous interactions with the brand even more complex. Further complexity from bringing the brand's value and the brand's voice to that customer interaction. Agent Studio allows a very low code or no code approach to both equipping agents with the right guidelines and the right equity in order to be able to represent their brands, while at the same time very quickly allowing for dynamic interactions which don't take customers down blind alleys. Agent Assist. So once the customer is engaged with the customer service agent, how do we make sure that agent is fully equipped with everything that we know about that customer and everything that we know about the brand itself? Agent Assist runs alongside a customer service agent in order to provide them with that knowledge graph and with those tools to have the best possible customer interaction in the moment. No please holds, No, I'm going to call a supervisor over to come and help you out with this. That agent knows everything about that customer. That agent knows everything about the brand and can bring it to their conversation in real time. And then lastly, search. This is our agentic assistant around search, which leverages all of our existing equity in search and all of the experience that Google's had in search over the last several decades, which is second to none. Bringing all of what we know about the interaction model, the way that customers guide themselves through the search experience as it moves into the add to basket experience, and then ultimately to checkout, bringing all of that seamlessly in an easy-to-use platform to every customer engagement. That's Gemini Enterprise for customer experience. Now, what's really key here is that when we designed GECX, we wanted to make sure that it in no way and at no time subordinates your brand experiences. It's a signature AI experience that you own and control every step of the way, which represents your brand identity throughout. No outside of the walled garden type of experiences, completely within your brand. Your data and your customer relationships. Customers often tell me their main obstacle to being able to do this sort of thing well is their data. It's in silos. I have to move it around and so forth. With GECX, the intention is to be able to use your data and your customer relationships in the state they're in, being able to bring all of that to the AI-powered customer experience service without having to go through very complex data reorganization and data re-architecting projects. And then lastly, the ecosystem. We recognize that every customer ecosystem is different. Everybody uses different platforms. Everybody uses different storage systems for their data and different customer interaction engagements today. GECX works with all of those out of the box. It's intended to be a very flexible, pluggable ecosystem that does not require major re-architectures of your business or technology stack in order to provide an AI-powered customer experience to your customers. So what we encourage is not to just try to reach your goals, but surpass them. Build AI into the fabric of your business. With the goal of increasing revenue with active agent discovery. Agents, of course, we've all heard about them. Agent sprawl is something I end up talking to customers about a great deal. Within the platform, the governance over the agents that you deploy and the ability for those agents to take action is strictly within your control and strictly within your existing governance. You can build loyalty through personalized multimodal journeys. Use the interaction style and the interaction model that makes sense for your customers. And then innovate faster on a single secure platform. So without having to deal with very complex integrations, you get to refocus on innovation rather than keeping the lights on. That agentic discovery piece allows you to bring great new customer experiences and user experiences into your applications very quickly, all within your own brand. Lets you build loyalty through personalized journeys, which really reflect the customer's experience with your brand and everything you know about the customer. Lets you innovate faster on that single secure platform, empowering both human and AI agents to work seamlessly together. Now, we're really excited about this platform, and we're always taking customer feedback on how we can do it better. But one thing that we often remind ourselves of is that at Google, we know consumers and we know search. GECX is powered by the same innovations that are loved and used by billions every day, with unmatched scale across our cloud platform, with unmatched insight, with about 50 billion shopping graph product listings built into the product, and with unmatched intent. To give you a sense of the scale we deal with, 1 billion people are shopping across Google 1 billion times every day. And 2 billion users experience our AI overviews every month. We want to bring all of that value to you and your customers. So with that, I'll say thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. It's been great to be here.